Hanziani, c3 on move 3. All right, let's see what my opponent knows here. I'm not a big e4, e5 player, I must admit. I know knight takes e4 is what you're supposed to do here. Then I think d5, knight e7. There's some tricks here. Knight takes e5. If you play d6, you're going to get hurt with queen a4 check. So let's see if I can equalize even. Knight g6? I think knight g6 is the move. Let's do that. How's everyone doing today? Happy Sunday. I'm feeling pretty good. I warmed up with a few Blitz games beforehand. I was actually streaming on my own channel before I went live. I've been playing a fair amount lately. I have not played tournaments in a while, but I've been playing a fair amount of online chess. Hello, K Buckby on Twitch says, ready to be adopted. Just kidding, I'm not. Hello to our YouTube viewers as well, as always. We really appreciate you. Farlene says, let's go. Let's do it. Also, Zachary, hello to you. Okay, bishop d3. Now, I could retreat my knight. I could also try something a little more aggressive, like queen e7, but I think retreating the knight is in order here. Yeah, knight f6 or knight c5. Let's go knight f6. I wonder if white's going to castle with some perceived pressure here. It looks pretty safe to do so. Yes, Dave Bees. I hope we get a game as well. Absolutely. Neil says, hi, John. I have an OTB tournament in a week. Yeah, good luck in that, especially if it's your first event. I've talked to so many people lately, students, other chess acquaintances, viewers of my channel, who said that they're playing their first tournament coming up, or they've already played their first tournament recently. So I think that's really cool to see. I highly encourage you all, if you've never played an over-the-board event, but you've thought about it, you've been on the fence, just make it a goal. Make it a goal to play one tournament and see how it goes. Because I bet it'll be a pretty great experience for you. There's going to be some level of nervousness, but it brings a different dimension to chess that, as much as I love online chess cannot replicate. So it's a great experience. Did you coach any of the big boys? I guess it depends how rated of players you're talking about. I've never coached like a super GM. No. But my highest rated student, you might know him. It's Andrew Tang. I worked with him for a few years. So he's quite the player. Thank you, Ali. Appreciate it. Hello, Corey. Hello, Yanni Gogo. Also, Francesco. Ian James says, John's still rocking the Christmas tree. Yeah, it might be time to get rid of that. I think I'm almost past the socially acceptable period for it. We're almost in February here, right? Okay, this is trouble for Tadziolol. I've got pressure on g2, also e2, maybe knight d3 sneaking in at some point. A lot to think about here. I think white missed the moment to castle earlier. Yeah, Andrew is a bullet super GM. Shout out to No Joke Chess, as always. Our faithful moderator in the chat sets this up. I'm looking immediately at smothered mate attempts. If only I could get my bishop to h3. If I could hop my pawn on d7 and get the bishop to h3, that would be GG. I just don't see how I set that up in a sensible way. Knight g2, king f1, also not so great. I really hate to just trade down on e2 here. That seems kind of lame, but it might be the thing to do. Can I really not make this work? I don't think so. I don't think it's possible. Because as soon as I move this pawn, the knight drops off. Well, you know what? Let's compromise. Let's play knight h3. Let's at least keep the knight kind of close to the white king. Yeah, good question from the user Downright Criminal. Says, do I get Lichess wings if I sub Lichess on Twitch? And No Joke Chess already answered you, but they are separate things. You get the wings if you're a patron here on Lichess. Ooh, and this hangs the queen. So yeah, you can subscribe or not subscribe, but you can become a patron on Lichess for, I think, virtually any monetary amount. I think as low as $1, $1 USD. Okay. Thank you for the game, Tadzio. So we were following some Ponziani theory here. I could tell you knew your stuff. Typical trap. So again, if d6 in this position, white has queen a4 check, forking the king and the knight. Tadzio says, "Da, I panicked. You must be an Eric Rosen viewer. Your da gave it away." And I know Eric likes the Ponziani. So yeah, I'm pretty sure here taking is fine. Queen d4 is also played. Queen f3. Yeah, this is all known stuff. Right. And here, the engine is recommending that you castle, not fearing knight takes d5. I think that would be probably too bold by me. There's something like bishop takes g6, attacking the knight. So totally okay to castle. This is something I think people tend to overestimate is a potential attack down the file here. Yeah, there's a half open h file to work with. I might put my bishop on d6, but you can always park your pawn on h3, and white has a high degree of safety. So thank you for the game. All right, we got a lot of challenges as usual. Kegi is up next. So just as a reminder, the only rule here on Lichess plays, other than being respectful and, you know, behaving yourself like normal people, is that when you're challenging me, it has to be 3+0 standard chess, so no variance or anything like that. And it can otherwise be e5. I'm trying to remember what to do against this. I feel like this is something I can punish, but I don't really know how. Seems like knight f3 or bishop d3. Sorry, I'm going to the tank here for a second. Trying to remember. I know I've seen this before. But I can't remember. I'm just going to play... I'm actually going to gambit. I'm going to go here. Yeah, you can't play an atomic game, unfortunately. Nah. Well, you can, but not against me on Lichess plays. So 3+0. It can be casual or rated. Doesn't matter. It's up to you. Okay, so my opponent keeps the tension. Fine. Now, I could win a pawn here, right? I could check here. Take, 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 take. Follow all that? I'm going to do it. This could get interesting. And I don't think black has an in-between check that really bothers me. I've got e4 covered, so we're going to be taking that queen next, provided black takes my queen. I was trying to give up a pawn in order to go knight b5, Dave Bees. I'll show you after the game, although I'm not certain it was any good. Now, which way do I step here? Probably here. We're both going to end up getting our knight trapped. This just looks very interesting. I don't know. Pre-move this. Now, I am actually up a piece here, right? I have 4 minor pieces, my original 4. My opponent only has 3. So I was able to work some alchemy to make that happen. Think I should prioritize development here. Let's go knight f3. Still trying to be focused, but yeah, looking to develop. I know black can escape through here, but I'm going to create a threat here. We still haven't given up on this knight, that's for sure. Black's trying to create an escape route for their knight, but I think I should be winning here. And again, the reason why I'm up a minor piece here is I took that bishop on b4 when I went queen a4 takes, and black didn't take it back. That was the thing. Or black did take it back, but they, instead of going after my knight, the recapture on d5, they went for the fork. So that was the key difference. All right, now I'm going to take here. Threaten another fork. And if king e7, then I can escape. There's still some heat coming against my king, but I think this is good. Does the board look weird? I hope not. Here, let me refresh my view of things. It looks fine on my end. All right, now I could take here. And then, all right, let's see what happens. I've got a little fork again on the bishop on f5. Let's see where my opponent steps. Okay, check. This is kind of funny. Now, if I take it, knight e4 now, or is he going to take the knight in the corner? All right. Still complicated, I will admit. Let's go here. And then I'm going to go here. And then here. We might have a scenario where both knights get trapped. Oh, that would be funny. Okay. It didn't happen in the game, but black could have had both knights on h1, a1, and mine going to a8. So my opponent resigned. Thanks for the game, Keggy. That was a fun one. Right here, if black plays knight takes h1, I take. And it's equal minor pieces, but both black's knights are trapped in the corner. That would have been a funny position. Yeah, I think this is winning for white all along. Because again, the key tactical sequence there, it wasn't obvious. It was almost like a sleight of hand type thing. But this is what happens when you get into these like competing threat, these in-between move scenarios. So when I played queen a4 and black defended knight c6 and I took, currently I'm down a queen for a minor piece, right? But then I immediately win a full queen back. Now, the normal thing in the sequence to do would be to take, and that would reestablish material equality. Black would be taking one of my minor pieces. So effectively, we've traded a queen and a minor piece each, right? And then I was going to take here. This is my whole point of this sequence. But maybe black has some compensation. Now the engine likes white. But I thought this was the most natural thing for black to do. But they went for the rook, right? So now black goes up 2 points of material, but the sequence continues. I immediately win 5 points of material back. So that's why, I'm effectively up a minor piece here. I am up a minor piece when all is said and done. So you always got to try to take those competing threats as far as you can if they exist in the position. That's a line. Ideally, both sides should calculate that from the beginning. I don't know that I explicitly calculated it, but I sensed that this would be bad for black to go for this because I've seen sequences like this before that work out well for the side, usually initiating the sequence. So, yeah, I think this was otherwise pretty well played on my part. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if I were in Keggy's position how I might play this differently, but it's tough. You could maybe try knight c2 or some sort of bishop c2 somewhere, but bishop c2 I think never really helps. So I'm pretty sure that decision to play knight c2 was the losing one, Keggy. Let me just check this real quick. Okay, knight c3 is played sometimes, but knight f3 is the main move. Okay, knight f3, take, just trade down here, huh? All right, I'll have to investigate that further. Hey, I got a clean bill of health on the average semi-pawn loss. 0-0-0, I'll take it. Thanks again for the game, Keggy. That was a fun one. Hello, Axiom Fox. Greetings to you. Can we see a King's Indian? Yeah, I can play a King's Indian. Absolutely. Let's play a Sicilian in this game. Catching up on the YouTube comments. Francesco asking, what is my advice for someone who played a lot online and started to play OTB? Well, it might be a bit of a tricky transition. I have heard from people who play primarily online that beginning to play OTB can mess with their visualization in particular. You know, playing on a 3D board versus a 2D board. So, and white gives me a piece there. As much as they maybe didn't want to allow a trade on D1, they should have done that. It's not worth a piece to prevent that. So, yeah, just recognize that it might take some getting used to, for sure. Playing OTB for the first time. You could try to practice. I would actually recommend practicing with a physical board a little bit just to try to get the hang of it. I think that's a good idea. Fianchetto Queen. Some people in the chat may have further advice, but those are the main things. Let's bring this up. Sometimes with these electronic boards, you can practice or use a physical board to relay the moves to Lichess, for instance. Yeah, I see what you guys mean about the quality. Let me see. If you're watching on YouTube, try to toggle it. You should be able to get up to 720. Yeah, we don't have the 1080p, but you should be able to get up to 720. Take. Okay, that's good to hear. And now if white takes here, yeah, bishop f3 still comes with check. Fork on the king and the queen. All right, let's take this one. Could also go check here. That might have been king f1. I guess this pawn was defended. But yeah, black's up a ton of material at this point. No mercy from John, says Tucson. Yes. All right, we pull no punches. Okay, and this is checkmate with the bishop supporting from long range, guarding g2. Thanks for the game, Bastion. So yeah, probably. So in this line here, you want to take on d5. But as much as you didn't want to, I think, allow a queen trade on d1, you got to allow it. A piece is too high a price to pay to try to avoid something like a queen trade. So got to play d3 takes e4 in this position. Thank you for the game. Best wishes for your chess improvement. Edinburgh Collective, good luck. All right. What should I play this time? Let's play a Peertz. We'll go d6. Not quite a King's Indian as some of you guys are requesting, but I'm sure we'll get in a proper King's Indian at some point. All right, interesting approach here. Let's try to take it into Sicilian territory now. So long as my opponent is allowing for it. Sort of like Grand Prix attack, I guess. Let's play d5. I think you want to handle this pretty aggressively for black. Knight d4 before white settles in here and starts creating problems. And now I can take, and I'm going to win the pawn on e4. And I simultaneously defend this, which is super important. So that misfired a little bit on white's part. Okay. Game definitely still not over, though. Lots to be played here. Let's go bishop d6, I think. Yeah. Reposition the bishop. And then maybe just take and bishop e6. I want to get my bishop out, although actually I can put the bishop here pretty conveniently. Maybe I can occupy these diagonals towards the white king. Okay. That almost seems like it should lose material. Bishop e5 and then take here, maybe. Let me think. Let's play this. Curious what my opponent's going to do. Hello, Har84. Oh, nice. You went through that Chessable course. Cool. Yeah, I hope you like it. I still play that from time to time. Okay, and this is my point, is that this bishop hangs on d5 at the end. I've been playing a good amount of queen a5 Scandinavian. That's been my main thing recently. But I think the queen d8 lines are still pretty legit. It's hard to find like a more convenient, compact answer to e4 than the queen d8 Scandinavian, honestly. It's not for everyone. I wouldn't recommend it to every single player out there, but I've really liked the convenience of it. Okay, knight g5 now hits the queen, also threatens knight takes h3. I think that's good. Just double checking. No pun intended. Yeah, let's pull the trigger. What do you think is objectively the worst line in chess? You mean of like mainstream openings? Because of course you have stuff like f3 or g4 on move 1 for white. But I don't think that's what you mean. Okay. Here, maybe try to line up a back ranker. Not quite working. Could take c2. f4 also comes to mind. Let's just play f4, followed by queen e2 or queen takes c2. Take here. And now advance. It's going to go bishop f6. Watch. Yeah, you knew bishop f6 was coming. Try for the mate attempt. Let's bring this in next. My back rank's okay. Oh, can I get a rook? My auto queen is on, I think. But all right. I was thinking about getting a rook, but no big deal. All right, Edinburgh Collective, thank you for the game. I appreciate it. So I think here, after knight d4, you probably need to play a little more accurately. I don't know that the trade is decent. I mean, if you trade, you probably got to go knight d1. Maybe that's been played before. Maybe not. The engine already seems to like black here. But if any of you guys play the black side of the Grand Prix from time to time, I would recommend trying for a quick d5 and then often using this knight, whether it's knight d4 or sometimes knight a5 to get rid of this light square bishop, because that bishop can lurk and create problems against your king. So if you're able to swap it off, or just in general distract white in the center, that tends to work out pretty well for black. Hey, Tony Rowe, nice. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to grab some Chipotle later too. So thank you for the game, Edinburgh. All right. Rules of existence. Good luck. All right. So I played e5. I played the Pierce. Played Sicilian. Let's play the French. Not an opening I'm fond of. So maybe that can answer the question posed not long ago. What is the worst line? I'm sorry, Tony Rotello, by the way, too. I don't really see the appeal of the French in many situations. Like, it just seems like I feel like you kind of have to hate yourself a little bit to play the French. You know, like you have to have a little bit of self-loathing going on to want to voluntarily play these positions with a bad light square bishop. But, you know, life is suffering sometimes. So many people embrace that. Rudy Russo says same with the Caro-Kann. Nah, but the Caro-Kann's different because the Caro-Kann, you can often get that light square bishop outside the chain. You're good in the Caro-Kann. Oof. I would take with the bishop. Keep that structure together. This is probably not so bad for white, though. Rules of existence is playing okay. Let's go h6. Yeah, I like that move. I like this approach. Let's go here. Horriplation says, I too hate the French. What does YouTube think about the French? Let's see. YouTube doesn't have an opinion on the French, as far as I can tell. Oh, hello, have fun on YouTube. The user have fun says, I think if you're saying know your opponent's threats, it resonates in many areas of life. Thank you. You like the advanced French for white? Yep, that's pretty legit. Yep. Okay, I like my play on the light squares here. If queen d5, rook e5. So I want to work up to queen d5, I think. Maybe it's my Scandinavian instincts. I'm trying to repair this opening, you know? Even though it started life as a French, we can still breathe some vivacity into it. So I'm trying to get queen d5. That's a good move, though. Again, nicely played. I might need to play my bishop into anchor here. Although it invites trades. Because now queen d5 is going to drop a rook on e8. This one looks more interesting, though. You know, I think I should probably play this. Let's go there and attack the knight. I'm going to sacrifice this pawn. I don't mind. The structure looks pretty darn good, so let's go for it. Yeah, calling the Scandi vivacious. I know. Well, by comparison, the Scandi's looking absolutely full of life. No, but there are some interesting lines in the French. I will give you guys that. There's some fascinating stuff like the McCutcheon. Many lines of the Winnower I find to be pretty fascinating too. But I got to imagine, like at the amateur level, it's probably pretty boring to play the French because so many people will trade on d5. You also get a ton of advanced variations, which French players don't seem to mind. But just the amount of exchange Frenches that you have to wade through probably gets pretty irritating. I would be curious for those French players out there what your experience has been. Yeah, there's some fascinating Tarrasch lines as well. It's kind of the same in the Caro, though, to be honest. So after e4, c6, d4, d5, the vast majority of amateur games go e takes d5 or sometimes e5, but I'd say e takes d5 mostly. And you play that exchange variation, which there's nothing inherently wrong with it, but it can be boring. So if take, he's going to take here. If that is the idea, that is clever. Probably I take here, though. Huh? But then queen g4. I'm going to risk it, you know? Let's see what happens. Oh, I blundered. This is why I don't play the French, guys. I blundered. Let's see if Rules of Existence finds it. Okay, I dodged one bullet. I'm still not out of the woods, though. This is bad. Hold up. I dodged one bullet, but this is still not looking too hot. Okay. H5? No. I'm just losing here. I need to go into swindle mode. I need to try to swindle Rules of Existence. Let's go F5. Okay. My opponent's allowing me back in the game, fortunately for me. But that was not looking good. Not looking good at all. All right, Rules of Existence. Thank you for the game. Yeah, you had me dead to rights here. Bishop takes g2 was an awful decision on my part. Awful. I wanted to try to win the pawn, but it may not be possible. And you found, I think, a good move, queen g4. Probably the most straightforward way to play, which was what I originally thought. Take, and then bishop takes f4. Another way to win a piece here. So could also do that. Knight h4 might just be a good move, at least under the circumstances. Might be the best move. Ooh, queen g5 is what I should do. Queen g5 is very good for black, but that was not obvious to me at the time. I don't think I even considered that move. That was a huge swing in the evaluation. And after this, it's not too late for me. I can play rook takes e3. Oh, of course, because I have knight h3 coming. I didn't put that together. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward now that I look at it. That's going to be forcing white to give up the queen. Okay, good game. Yeah. So as much as I was bashing the French, we actually got a pretty interesting game out of that. I was a little skeptical of your capture with the B pawn, but you did quickly play c4 and look to offload that pawn. So I think this position was about equal. Equal chances here. Thanks again for the game. All right. Hey, Kimya. Good to see you. Good luck. All right. So I played E5. I played French. Played Pierce. Played Sicilian. Now we got to go. I feel like I played Scandi, but I don't remember. Let's play Caro-Kann just to complete some of the defenses to E4. Oh, I got Alekine's defense, maybe modern also. We'll mix in a bunch of things. Let's see if my theory holds true. E takes D5. Wait for it. A lot of people do this move order too. Yep. It just happens so often. I'd say below 1800 on Lichess. So often. E4 F6 next? Ooh, I don't know. Where's this knight going to go? All these squares are covered. Looks like white has to play it back to E1. Yeah, sure thing. I know there's a lot of Caro-Kann players out there. That opening has had a resurgence in the past year or so. Mm-hmm. 91. Okay, let's just develop. Maybe I'll get some Greek gift stuff going. Ooh, F3. F3. So I have a check here. Let me plan what to do after that, though. Well, let's give the check, and I think I'm going to go H5. We're going to start making some attacking overtures against white's king. Let's take back. Knight G4 is lurking. I'm definitely considering it. Knight G4, knight takes here. Here. Knight F3. Do I have some cool smothered mate? I don't think so. If I were Mikhail Tal, what would I do in this position? You guys ever ask yourself that? I don't know. I feel like he might play knight G4. Let's try it. He probably wouldn't because I don't think this is a sound operation, but I want to play it. Oh, okay. I think knight takes E4 was best there. Now I might be able to be sneaky. You guys see what's coming? We'll see if white defends against it. Oh, and I get to play my main idea. Queen coming into H4 checkmate. I was trying to keep that bishop on this diagonal, guarding G1. So always guarding that flight square. So this is kind of a typical mating pattern. But I don't think it was sound. Thank you for the game, Kimya. I think had you played knight takes E4, I'm going to have egg on my face and the engine's going to be yelling at black's position. Right here. Yeah, knight takes E4. I was going to play, because, okay, that helps you guard F2, and it hits the bishop. That's why it's annoying. I was going to play probably bishop E6 here, but the engine remains skeptical. That's for sure. I could try something like queen H4, but bishop F4 I think always covers, or, yeah, maybe even better, knight F3. Hits the queen and defends. I was hoping there was some, insane smothered mate here, but that's not going to happen. So, yeah, I don't feel great about that one because although I got a cool checkmate, it was almost a little swindly. You guys know what I mean? Like, I knew what I was doing was not sound. But I went for it anyways. So, yeah, even here, Kimya, if you play bishop f4, you're still in the game. Although it's very interesting at this point. Queen f6 or g5. Wow, queen f6. What's the deal with that move? Wait, queen f6 if I take here? What is the plan? I don't know why the engine likes that so much. What's the idea? Let's just think for a second. I don't know. Do you guys see anything? I know I'm pausing here for a second, but this is an interesting chess thought experiment. Queen f6. What happens on knight takes e4? Queen h4, but that's guarded, right? Oh, rook takes h2 anyways. Oh, nicely spotted. That's nasty. Okay, I definitely would not have seen that in the moment. That's actually pretty disgusting. Take, then takes anyways. Oh my, and it's checkmate. King takes h2, queen h4 is the same checkmate. And here, this iteration, queen takes f1. Whew. Yeah, see, that's the type of interesting stuff that can happen. But that would have been real tough to see. Straight filth, I agree. Well done to those of you who spotted that. I definitely didn't. A couple people on YouTube spotted it. Nice. Okay, cool. Well, fun little tactics to explore there. That's the type of position we can analyze for a while, but we must continue. We press onwards. Thank you for the game once again. Appreciate it, Kimya. Niles is up next. I am black yet again. c4. All right. I'll play the King's English. e5. Maybe I will try... Let's try a quick h5. This is a line one of my students really likes. You can play h5 at various junctures here in this opening. Okay, let's go bishop c5. So if white ever plays knight f3, I'm probably going to play h3 now. Okay, now this starts to look kind of sketchy for white with the bishop coming back here. I think that's for sure. Can take g4. Yeah, probably just take that. Is your student Simon Williams? Hello, Smithy Q. No, I can confirm my student is not Simon. But he probably approves of that approach. Okay, take. And if I check, bishop e2 maybe is the point. All right, I'll buy that. Let's go here. Oh, yeah, sorry, Hippo. Yeah. Again, usual apologies to those who don't necessarily get a game today. We try our best. We try to get as many people involved in the mix as we can, but it is 2 hours of play. I usually average about 18 to 20 games in this time period. Is your student Magnus Carlsen? No, unfortunately. But I was thinking about tweeting a picture of me and Magnus because I always tweet before I go live for Lichess plays. And I was going to tweet something like, it's just me and him in the picture. We took it right before the pandemic, actually, because I was in Norway filming some chessable stuff with him. And I was going to tweet, like, one of these guys is going to play you in Lichess plays today. Tune in to find out which one. But I didn't. I ran out of time, so I didn't tweet that picture. Maybe next week. Hello, Mayoro on YouTube. Yes, I do. Thanks for asking. Feel free to get in touch with me. You can go to my YouTube page if you search my name and then click on the About section. Okay, here. I want to try to stop my opponent from castling somehow. This move might just be good, though, because I can also try to win h2. Have I been keeping up with the Battle of the Sexes? Yeah, I've checked that tournament out. Yep. That's been fun to follow. Being played in Gibraltar right now. I think it's a 10-round event. Now, I can take this one, white castles, to defend. I also really like the look of bishop f3, although Maybe just queen e3 diffuses that. I should probably just take here. Yeah, I think I'm going to go capture this, and I'm going to likely be bailing out this way with my king. You can also follow that event on Lichess here. If you go to the watch and then broadcast tab, you can find lots of broadcasts of recent events. Okay, I hope my queen doesn't get trapped. I see some ways it could potentially, though. But let's castle. I think I need to secure my king anyways. Okay, white has an interesting move here that I should have considered but didn't. We'll see if Niles finds it. Okay, I was actually thinking queen e3 on the previous move might have been decent for them. Now, if rook takes f7, because I am attacking the rook here, I might just be able to push this h-pawn. Ooh. Okay, take. I'm probably very happy to trade because this pawn is looking unstoppable. Sidestep. F3 also fine there. Or F5, rather. Hey, by the way, no joke chess. I think Nightbot on YouTube, not Twitch, but on YouTube, maybe like hacked or compromised. Oh, wait, maybe not. I might just be interpreting what it's saying. It's giving some message about like online clothing that looks like spam, but I think it's actually like repeating what someone was spamming in the chat, if I'm reading that right. Let's give it a check. All right. I'm close to checkmate here. Can almost get the job done. I don't know. Let's give a check here. Might be letting my opponent out a little bit with this move, but we'll see. Check. Let's give a check here. Cut the king off. Now, where is my mate? I don't know. I mean, I can play bishop c2. White cuts that off. Yes, this is probably a good move. You know what I want to do though? I'm gonna be sneaky. I was trying to figure out how I could get the rook around to a8. So I kind of just ignored what was happening over here with the bishop hanging like zit, zit, and then here. But that wasn't the only way to do that. All right, thanks to the game, Niles. So against this early h5 approach, you will face some players like that. I generally think you should react to this. Like, I don't think you should play the normal moves and allow like this h3 move, especially. I know you play g4, but allowing h3 in general is not good in these positions. I think that plays into black's hands. So here, for example, you might want to think about knight f3 to cover this square. I could still attempt to play h4 and sacrifice the exchange coming up. So something like this, but it's probably unsound for black. So you could certainly do that. Some people play h3 to meet this with g4 and then actually block black from playing h3. Looks like h4 is played a fair amount too. So maybe just think a bit more how you're going to deal with that. All right, thank you for the game. Oh, wow, wow. All right, 1500. I have a white game here for once. Let's play e4. What do I think of Richard Rapport's performance? Yeah, strong performance. Yeah, congrats to him. What did he score? He was a half point behind Magnus, is that right? Okay. Can I go win a pawn here? I'm going to try it. I know this looks greedy, but I control the d4 square, so there's no queen d4. I don't think like a bishop takes f2 operation should work for my opponent. Let's attempt it. All right. Bishop f4, f6, I suppose. F4 is probably too aggressive here. I think after f6, I might regret my lack of development. Let's just go knight c4. Yeah, the Spanish Stafford. That's right. Okay, so black should have taken there. I was just going to play queen e2. Kind of boring, but I think after this, I'm significantly better. Up a pawn, and this bishop isn't looking too hot. Hello, Ricardo on YouTube. Yes, I am accepting challenges. You can challenge me, Fins, Fins, to 3+0, casual or rated. Absolutely. We're about 45 minutes into the stream, so we've got a ways to go still. Plenty of time. Let's play f3. Kick the knight. What is my opinion on the book, The Inner Game of Chess? Never read it. I've not read that one by Soltis. Give a check here. I think I'll just take c8, bishop f4 after that. We'll go from there. Oh, did I have knight g6? Oh, yeah, knight g6. That was a better move. I should have looked right. I only looked left, you know? Look both directions when you're crossing the street. Robert, yeah, thank you for the raid. Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you, Robert. This is Lichess Plays. This is a weekly thing that I do here on Lichess, sponsored by Lichess. There's other streamers who do this as well from time to time, but we play viewers for 2 hours in 3+0 Blitz. Anyone can challenge. You don't have to be a subscriber on Twitch or anything like that. It is totally free and open to everyone. And it's a good time. We just kind of riff on what's ever going on in the chess world, too. People ask questions. I try not to blunder. I sometimes play a blindfold game or a game with the horsey set or a bomb cloud game at the end of the stream. We'll do that again today, too, as usual. What about How to Reassess Your Chess? Yeah, I've read How to Reassess Your Chess. That's a classic by Silman. I personally think Silman sometimes like overestimates his audience. That would be one of my criticisms about some of his books. I actually think his best book is his complete endgame course. I like how that one's structured, like broken down by rating level. The material is excellent. Some of his other stuff I think is interesting, like How to Reassess Your Chess and The Amateur's Mind, but I don't really fully agree with his methods. His discussion of the imbalances, I think, is kind of hit and miss. Again, I think it assumes a level of knowledge that like his audience just doesn't have, and that is not like easily obtainable by strictly evaluating the factors in the position. Okay, and we're zeroing in on checkmate here. But that said, someone's a great author. I mean, those are pretty influential books. Okay, oh wow, thank you very much for the game. So I think you were all right had you played queen takes e4 instead of f5. This is where things got out of control. Queen takes e4, queen e2 is what I was going to do. But that's fairly normal. It's equal material. So thank you for the game. Hey, Dave Bees, you're up next. Baku says, everyone knows Tony Rotella is the superior chess author. Okay, let's play g6 against knight f3. I don't know if we'll see Tony publish again. He published the one book on the Kalashnikov. Go check it out. It's actually on my bookshelf somewhere back there. I swear, Tony. And I'm sure the chess world is eagerly awaiting your next publication, whenever that may be. Maybe circa like 2035, something like that. Do I know Yasser Siron? Yes, I've met Yasser before. He's a great guy. Super nice dude. Yeah. He's pretty much exactly like how he seems online. Okay, should I trade here or should I play knight fd7 first? I think knight fd7. Now, this pawn can get overextended for white, I think is the problem. They've gone pretty far and pretty fast with that pawn. So I'm going to try to attack Dave B's e5 pawn here. Ooh, queen d5, aggro. I got to play knight c6 here, right? Seems like the thing to do. Is Dave B's really going to castle queenside on me? He might. I'll publish again when George R.R. Martin does. Nice. When I played rook h6, was rook g6 mating? Very possible I missed a quicker checkmate there, yeah. I would not doubt it whatsoever. Okay, now I think I can win a pawn. Let's take. Dave is going to have to be careful here because I think he's going to try to win his pawn back by taking on b7. Taking on b's 7. But watch out, the position's going to open up if he's not careful. Ooh, he retreats. Yeah, he kind of sensed the weakness of d3. Probably not a bad move, bishop e2. But now it looks like kind of a clean pawn that I'm working with. Bring this in. If b3 maybe take here, might be able to go after another pawn. Okay, solid, solid. Now, this knight seems a little misplaced for me because I want my bishop to attack down here. I could just double, but he's probably going to put his rook on d1 and try to trade. Maybe I don't hate that, but I feel like I should be able to pressure a little bit more here, you know? All right. Unusual move time. I'm going to try to do my best Karpov impression on the board, not an actual impression. All right. Oh, wait. I even have this move. Take. He takes here. All right. We're going for the ultra strategic play. Beautiful knight on c5 that cannot be harassed. Guarding the b7 pawn backward. I maintain my rook here. And an absolutely neutralized white structure. Right? Now, rook e5 could be a thing. So let's just play another, like, total... Oh, wait. I dropped this. This is what happens when you try to play, like, super strategically. This is still pretty good, though. But I was trying to think how to keep the rook out of e5. But I wish I would have kept that pawn. All that being said. But yeah, the knight is pretty much a beast in this position. Let's advance this. Push it one more square. It's protected by the knight. Then I might just go after this pawn. Go after this next. Never play f7? I think you mean never play f6. In that case, it was true. Yeah, that definitely just dropped a pawn. Now, if king f4, I get the check here. And that knight pounces. Do I have mate? No, let's pick up the bishop. All right, Dave Beast, thank you for the game. So this e4, e5 operation in the opening, A little bit too aggressive. And I think if you're going to play this more London style, you probably don't want to mix bishop f4 with e4. I don't think that's the greatest play for white. Yeah, so hard to give advice like without knowing what you play against the King's Indian normally, but we did transpose into that. And this setup you chose is just not so effective for white, especially if you're going e4, e5. I know that move looks tempting, but you get overextended and this pawn just turns out to be weak. When you're 2 moves away from castling like that, it's going to be really tough to consolidate the position. But yes, thank you for the game. Erosion is next. Okay, if Erosion plays e4, what am I going to do? I don't think I played Scandi yet, so let's play Scandi. And then next I'll play Alekhines. Should I play the knight f6 Scandi? Where are my modern Scandinavian players out there? Let's see if we can get a Portuguese. No one ever allows it, though. They always play bishop e2 or knight f3. Very few people play f3 here in my experience. So a bit more of a tame approach. But hey, if I can win pawns like this, I will do it. Should I take this one too? Why not? Bishop f4. I can play queen h5. Now don't put your knight in on b5. I will take that. I will capture that erosion. I'm going to be eroding your pieces. Even more so than your pawns if you play it. Now, bishop takes c7 is playable, but I was just thinking like knight a6 or knight c6. Okay, so my opponent's looking to castle. Seems legit. Okay, let's play c6. I'm going to play this kind of greedy, but we're going to treat it this way. I don't know. e6, rook g5 looks mildly dangerous for me. So let's do the Scandinavian thing and swing the queen over to a5. I'm kind of behind in development here, though. Yeah, the Portuguese variation. That's what I was trying for. The main line with white playing f3 and being real greedy. f3 followed by c4. Hello, Mike says hi from Minnetonka. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. What's up to Mike? Look to play bishop b4. Could also play knight bd7. Yeah, actually, let's go knight bd7. Just coordinate a little bit more, because I think white's going to try to go here with one of the knights. So I just want to be a little bit better developed. No, goes back. Okay. Probably castle now. And even though white has various discoveries here, there's nothing truly dangerous, and I can often take this pawn on a2. Let's take this one. Queen takes, probably knight f6. Oh, thank you, Bakuz. Thank you for recommending my YouTube channel. Bishop d6 definitely comes to mind. Somewhat of a free development move, although then queen f3. I think I'm going to go queen f5 here. Offering a trade. If I can get the queens off and be up 2 pawns, that looks pretty darn convincing. Hello, Adam. Thank you for tuning in from Australia. As is often the case, we have a nice international audience here. You love to see it. Okay, rook takes d4. Should I be even more greedy in the position? I mean, honestly, I don't see why not. Let's do it. We're taking a third pawn. Yeah, Gordon Gekko would be proud. Greed is good. Here, I'm a little scared of the d-file situation, but again, I don't see anything for white. I'm just trying to get this bishop out without losing this pawn, basically. So I'll probably play bishop b4 next, if given the chance. Let's say queen h2. Yeah, just develop. Ooh, takes. I did see that move. I thought it wouldn't turn out well for my opponent, but I am seeing now. Ooh, this would be an easy move to blunder, wouldn't it, John? I almost thought take. I almost fast forwarded in my head. Like, oh, we're just going to have a trade there. But queen b8 is a sneaky checkmate threat. You always got to be vigilant in this game. So maybe e5. Or I could force a queen trade, queen f4. I'm probably going to do that. I'm not going to tempt my luck here in time pressure. I know I lose the g7 pawn, but I'm still up. That would be very easy to blunder. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me making that blunder. All right. So after all that, I'm up 2 pawns. After all those adventures. Yeah, now white just has no time, unfortunately, for them. Let's push. All right. Thank you, Erosion, for the game. I'll just show that checkmate just in case you guys ever let your guard down or are tempted to let your guard down in positions like this. Bishop takes a7. Kind of looks like white's taking a random pawn, right? But don't lose track of the long-range moves. Because originally I thought, oh, I'll just take and mess up the structure around their king. But this would be splat. This would be a really nasty way to end the game. Checkmate with the rook controlling the d-file. So always, always watch those long-range moves. The engine actually doesn't even like my bishop b4 move. It says h5 or g6 instead. Not sure I fully understand that, because it looks to me like white could take here anyways, but I'm sure there's a reason. Oh, I like bishop c5. In hindsight, bishop c5 looks like a pretty good idea. That completes development, blocks the bishop. That does look pretty good too. Okay, thank you for the game, Erosion. Yeah, so you dropped the pawn on g2, but, you know, you had some interesting play for it in a blitz game, but yeah, I probably don't want to drop that pawn. Probably castles here. Who's up next? Spitzenkorper. Good luck. Again, I'm mentally preparing for e4 because so many people play e4. All right. Alekhine's it is. I think we've traversed all the other defenses here with the pawns in the center, so we're on to the Alekhines. Oh, and I win a pawn on move 2. Look at that. Now I'm going to go back, because if you take, they can take with the D pawn. Morphy used to do stuff like that. You guys might be familiar with that strategy from like the Stafford Gambit. It can give some compensation sometimes. So I'm just going to pull the knight back and then play with my pawns here. Yeah, you know, Alekhines is kind of underrated. This is another Tony Rowe favorite. Tony has a video on this opening, actually. I recommended it to a student recently. So check out Tony Rotella's channel, where he goes over the main ideas in the Alekhines and kind of summarizes the current state of theory. Yeah, hardly anyone's playing d4. That's right. No d4. The Drofat's Gambit, is that what this is called? That's a funny name. Never heard that. Yeah, sure thing, Tony. Drofat's Gambit. Could white have played knight takes d5 there, by the way? Knight takes. Use the pin. I guess I have bishop takes h2, but I didn't really calculate that. Okay, knight b5. Let's just go here and break the pin. Oh, you reverse it. That's Stafford backwards. Okay. Given chess nomenclature in the openings, you definitely fooled me. Mayoro says, is Alekhines dubious? You know, I think at the top level, they're probably going to say, yeah, it's a little bit dubious. Kind of like Scandi, like they'd probably put it in the second or third tier of defenses against e4. But I think it's totally playable. I mean, I guess the most recent, like, pretty high-level game I saw it in was round 1 of the U.S. Championship. Daniel Naroditsky played it against Ray Robson, and Daniel was black, and he lost that game. I think Ray Robson played a 4-pawns attack. I would actually bet Tony maybe even talks about... I know he talks about the 4-pawns attack, but he might even reference that game in the video. So you see it occasionally at, like, 2,600 level. You don't really see it in the absolute, like, elite tournaments, but I don't think there's any necessary rhyme or reason for that. I think they just trust E4, E5 in particular so much for black that tends to be the mainstay. That game was mentioned. Okay, got it. Yeah. It seems to me the 4-pawns attack is not necessarily the best way for white to play for an advantage, although it remains one of the critical lines. Now I'm going to take here and then take here. JR Magnus says, thought Carlsen played it at the Rapid/Blitz Championship. Very possible he did, yeah. Yeah, in Blitz and Rapid, you'll see it. But in an absolutely top-level classical game, long time control, yeah, you're not typically seeing stuff like Alekhine's Defense, Scandinavian, Modern, Peertz. I would put all those kind of in the same category in terms of perceived level of risk that black is taking relative to like E4, E5, or some lines of the Sicilian. Speaking of risk, am I risking anything here? My king is kind of open. I'm playing a little bit greedy, but I think everything's fine for now. Once again, I'm grabbing a lot of pawns. Let's firmly block this bishop. Let's try not to get immortalized here with some sort of like rook takes h7 idea. Queen g1. Let me guess what you're doing here. Spitzenkorper. Let me take a wild guess as to your strategy. All right. Let's go here. I still have to be careful, even though... Oh, okay. Well, that was pretty obvious, John. I should have taken that rook. Now let's block. I think white's running out of ammunition here. Even though I'm not necessarily taking my opponent's pieces. Is this like almost trapping the rook? Not quite. I'm going to play it anyways, though. It's a fun move. Okay, Spitzenkorper, thank you for the game. So, what can I say about this one? I think you just didn't get compensation for the pawn, you know? Knight f3. Maybe you play knight f3 against e4, e5, so you're kind of used to playing it there. But remember, you always got to adjust to what your opponent's doing. So if black plays like knight f6 or Scandi, they're attacking that pawn on e4. They might just take it. So, yeah, just kind of tough for you after that. I thought maybe you could have played knight takes d5 here. I should have actually looked at this line and probably played bishop e7. But I guess on knight takes d5, probably we can have some sort of trade, which in the short term works for you because I can't take here. It would be illegal. There's a pin. But I could take here, check, and then take here, which is probably why the engine doesn't tag this as a mistake. Thank you for the game, though. Greatly appreciated. We continue here. Destroya Jr. Good luck. Oh, Scandi. All right, let's do this. Let's play the main line. Knight c3. See how much black knows here. This is the queen d8 Scandi. Oh, yeah, and black has studied my course. Well done. Good job. I like it. You know what you're doing. This is still a valid idea. B5 followed by A5. I'm going to play A4. We're just going to put a stop to it. Yup, knight C6. That's a good move. Yeah, obliged to throw this game. That's right. To really highlight that the Scandi is a first-tier opening at amateur level. Now, I would put the bishop on F5 instead of G4. We'll see what black does with the bishop here. This is not, I think, that bad for black at all, but I think bishop F5, maybe with knight B4 in mind, is a bit more like challenging, let's say. This could get interesting if black takes on D4. I think I will take and then play queen takes B7, which seems better for me, but okay. Yeah, this, I think, risks being a little passive for black. Watch me to try to break through with D5 in the middle. Yeah, I think we got to go D5. Although I did just allow knight E5 as a move, but still the center's opening up. Maybe G4, G5 was even better plan. Would C6 be an alternative move? Yeah, sometimes black digs in with like C6 here, although that's a little bit passive. I think white should get a big advantage out of that if they know what they're doing. There's some famous older games in the Queen D8 Scandinavian, like Fischer versus Robash, which is in Fischer's My 60 Memorable Games, that kind of put the Queen D8 Scandinavian under a cloud for quite a long time, unfortunately. Also, the oldest recorded chess game featured the Queen D8 Scandinavian. Yeah, take here first and then take the knight. So I'm up a pawn in this position. Also, this is a pin. I might be able to do something with it sooner or later. Yeah, Vignoles versus Di Castelvi, I think, was the player playing black. From the late 1400s. Ooh, and that is not what you want to do. Steps out of the pin, but it leaves the rook undefended. Michael Bradley asks, what is the most common mid-tier opening you might see at top level? Says, I have not seen too many Benonis, Benkos, Scandinavians in classical time format. Yeah, you know, speaking of D4 defenses, I think Benoni is a good proxy for like Alekhines, Scandinavian, modern, within the D4 systems of openings. Yeah, what do you guys think? I would say Dutch, Benoni, certainly Benko Gambit. I think the Benko Gambit at like super GM level and long time controls is an extremely risky opening nowadays. What other lines? Maybe King's Indian. I still think King's Indian is like borderline accepted mainline, but maybe they don't like the risk reward. I think Grunfeld's still very legit, you know, reliable mainline D4 opening. MVL being one of the biggest practitioners there, along with Svidler. Thank you, Destroyer. Yeah, I thought you played fine. I was saying maybe your bishop should have gone to F5 instead, because that pairs really well if you go knight B4 coming up. But good job. You knew this line. You knew exactly what to do here. And even as played, I think I probably rushed D5. You know, had you in this position actually just taken, I think you're fine. Like take. Maybe some line like this, you can play bishop D6 at the end. If white's better, I think it's only a very minor advantage. Maybe you didn't like here that I would take. Maybe that's why you moved your queen. But here, you can actually play knight d6. You can save your knight and block. So I wouldn't have gone for that. I would have just taken your knight. So thank you very much for the game. Blunder P. Let's play d4 in this one. Tony says, super depressing how hard the Benko is nowadays. Yeah, you know, I know Tony follows correspondence chess pretty closely. And the sharper and the more dubious the line has been demonstrated to be in like human classical chess, you're going to have an even harder time with it making it playable in correspondence. So correspondence is still, in my opinion, like the scientific proving ground for a lot of these openings we're talking about. And I would be curious how the Benko is doing in correspondence games, because my understanding is it's like almost like semi-refuted in the sense that black is significantly worse, and there doesn't seem to be like a cure. I hesitate to say downright losing, but like the accepted Benko lines apparently are really hard for black right now. Smithy Q, who's also an openings expert as well, has some stuff on Chessable, says the classical bishop takes a6 approach is definitely doing poorly, sadly. Yeah, right. Seems like the modern g6 and delaying the capture on a6 approach is what they're trying to do to make the... Oh, did I miss this move? Come on, John. Fortunately, my opponent gave me a chance there to do it again, which I'm going to take, I think. But I'm talking about the Benko Gambit, and I'm missing forks. Yeah, the chat saw it. A couple people in the chat said, wasn't there a fork? My thoughts exactly right after I played this move. Yeah, 12A4. That's the line. Wasn't it like Larry Kaufman in one of his repertoire books kind of originally proposed that line? And I think it was around that time period that was starting to get some notoriety, and it was starting to become known that that was a problematic line for black. Yeah, I think the King's Indian, Tony says, tons of people play the King's Indian in correspondence. Allows black to play for a win more easily than in other spots because the engine gets a little confused. That's a great point. There's a lot of like mainline kind of tabia positions in the King's Indian where although the engine will read a pretty solid advantage for white, there are like 3, 4, 5 systems that black can conceivably play. And to a human, they are not easy to navigate. And also the engine doesn't quite know what's going on a lot of times. So I think that's pretty fascinating when it comes to the King's Indian. Very rich, deep opening for sure. But you got to be ready for a lot of stuff if you play it at a high level. Oh, thank you, Adam. Adam forgives my missing of the fork there. Says, all good, John. Forks are for the weak. Lazy black opening recommendations? Well, we were talking about some of them. Let's throw in a check here first. As I said, the Queen D8 Scandinavian, I think, is... goes that direction. A pretty good return on your time invested because you can definitely play it without having to work too hard, and you're going to get pretty reliable positions. Do I really not have some crushing discovery here? Maybe not. I don't know. I might just castle here. I can still castle, right? That's legal. Let's castle. I mean, my rook's defended. I can maintain the pin. I'm just adding another attacker here. Nothing to worry about. Well, I have a fork, but he's going to take it, right? He had a bishop on e5. That just looked like a trade to me. I'm playing for checkmate. I think this wins the rook. That much is clear. But I think I have a mate. Do I? I'm looking for a forced mate here, but I don't know that I have one. That bishop actually controls some annoying squares. This is where you think for too long looking for a mate, and then you get in time pressure, and you just play something random. This is just like a pure calculation exercise. All right, I'm going to take this one first. Check. Oh, yeah, this is actually pretty easy because I control all these squares. The knight controls these ones, so this is just mate next move, rook e8 forced. Do I have a faster mate? That was mate in 3. That was pretty quick. I don't see a mate in 2. Hey, still got it. All right. Thanks for the game. Appreciate it, Blunder P. So in this variation, QGD C5, a little bit too ambitious here because your queen is doing double duty trying to guard the knight and guard the pawn. And on bishop takes F6, we remove the guard. Yeah, that's why you kind of got in trouble here. Although I did miss knight C7 a move earlier than played. So, yep, you want to play something like bishop E7 here, or maybe C6 if you really want to make it absolutely certain you're guarding D5. Both those moves are totally playable and mainline stuff. Thanks for the game. Best wishes for your chess improvement. Let's keep motoring here. Omran. Okay, let's play in English. We've not played it English today. Peacemaking on YouTube asks, hi, John, what is your favorite chess book of 20? What does that mean, of 20? Sorry for like the weird reflections in the back. I'm actually going to close my blinds for a second. Okay, that should be a little bit better. Speaking of King's Indian, that's what we have on our hands here. I'm going to try to play this Botvinnik English style with this formation where likely I'm going to put the pawn on D3. Maybe go to D4 later, but yeah, let's play it in true Botvinnik English style. H3, bishop E3, kind of work up to F4. Well, I've enjoyed this discussion of openings. You know, I have not studied as much opening theory in like recent years as I would like. It's such a taxing, time-consuming thing. If you want to be abreast of like the current theoretical state of major openings, there's so much information, there's so many games coming at all times. Theory shifts relatively rapidly these days. It can almost be like a full-time job keeping track of it. So I enjoy like chatting with you guys, and I learn stuff too all the time from just casual conversations like this with fellow chess players. If only someone could pay us to study openings all day, right? Or at least part of the day. I don't think I'd want to study openings all day. That'd be kind of boring. The opening is not really my favorite phase of chess. I like openings when I feel like I'm connecting it to middle games and I'm actually learning something deeper about the games that I'm playing. If I'm purely studying opening theory just to like avoid getting a bad position or out of necessity, it's not as appealing to me. It's not the most fascinating aspect of chess by any means to me. But I will admit, like I've gone down the rabbit hole in certain openings and discovered some beautiful stuff and really felt like I improved my overall understanding of the game. It can be dull, yes, absolutely. But it can also be pretty fascinating if you're studying the right stuff. Tony says, how do I become someone's second? I could totally study the opening all day for money, right? Yeah, that's probably the job description for seconds, right? Wasn't there an interview with some top-level player who they were asking them like what proportion of their time they spend on like studying the opening? And I want to say they said like 80 to 90% of their time is spent on openings, you know, in terms of their day-to-day just general chess work. And seconds, who are often very good players, almost always titled players, who help elite players or like help someone who's maybe like a strong player preparing for a tournament prepare and get their openings straight. That's pretty much their entire job, is discovering lines that are playable for the person in question and making sure they're prepped in them. Trying to find novelties in a lot of cases too. Okay, this looks a little crowded over here. Knight A2 maybe, followed by B4. I feel my opponent's setup can be refuted somehow, but I'm not quite seeing it. Bishop D2 makes a lot of sense. Maybe I'll do that. Bishop D2, but then they could retreat the knight from C5. But then knight A4. Let's try it. My opponent doesn't have much time either. Naka had a second rated 2100 for a while. Yeah, Chris Littlejohn. I think he still works with him. He's a computer expert, evidently like very in tune with what engines recommend and like understands deeply how best to use engines. So he's kind of an exception. Absolutely. Okay, rook A1 he takes. So let's go rook B3. I'm pushing black backwards here. I didn't exactly refute black's setup there, but I do have a big space advantage at this point. Let's go here and make sure that we line up with the enemy queen. This still looks so awkward. C5 almost traps the knight. But the knight's going to go to A4. All right. Let's go here. And now I'm threatening C5. This is double covered. Pretty nasty move to face. I think black has to play C5. Yup. Let's take here. Double up. My opponent's still clinging to life in this position. Not on the clock, though. Let's go rook over. These knights are so awkward, so that's why I'm hesitating to like try to trade one. I don't want to play knight d5 too early. These are, in some ways, superfluous knights, to use a Duretsky term. Stepping on each other's toes. And now we're going to pin this one. Nasty. Yeah. And still black's defending here. Knight b5. Knight d5 is probably not working. Knight d5 is the move. Because if takes, I take with check. And then the queen hangs. Okay, so finally I think I was bringing down the enemy position here. But that was not easy. Okay, thanks for the game, Omran. Yeah, you probably just let my pawns kind of get too far down the board. I think this plan you chose here, knight fd7, allowing f5, f6, you were really digging in here. But I feel this is too passive. I think you're going to have a hard time getting counterplay after this. Even though you're kind of blockading the queen side, the engine's very skeptical of your chances here. So maybe need something a little more aggressive. Maybe taking on f4 right at this moment. You can often think about taking and then knight h5 just to unbalance the play a little bit. Although I am expanding here. The engine likes this for white as well. Thanks for the game. Okay, Johnny Truant. I hope you're not truant for this game. Johnny Truant 22, are you there? There we go. Johnny is here. All right. Let's play a modern. Okay. I'm going to go c5. King's Indian is basically busted among engines. But bear in mind, yeah, the engine's always evaluated optimistically. But I don't think that means it's busted by any means. Yeah, I have a pretty good PC. Yup, I'm running some good hardware here. So I can get a lot of nodes real quick on the analysis. That is true. Okay. I like this plan. C4, knight C3. I think that makes sense. Let's play rook B8. Go queen a5. Active approach. I might even sack this c6 pawn. We'll see. Let's swing this over. I see the King's Indian players doing this sometimes. Move the d pawn, bishop h3 coming in, knight g4. Try to attack like in a Grand Prix if I can. Probably d5 here is the thing to do. This pawn's actually protected sufficiently, so white can't win it. All right, and here we go. Let's do this plan. Knight g4 coming up, most likely. This could lead to some fun stuff. And if white takes, then knight g4 is even a bigger threat. Okay, e4. Now, if I do this, f3, I have a check here. King h1. Yeah, that's just going to be mate. So I think this is already looking pretty dire for my opponent. And I'm playing this first. I'm not taking first, because if I took first, allowed the trade, then knight g4, white would have h3 as a defense. So you want to keep your bishop here blocking as long as possible. That's the thing. Okay, now I think I'm just going to go take the pawn on h2 coming up. First, I'll take here. There's even a fork with d4, but taking on h2 check is pretty hard to pass up. Let's see if my opponent takes it or not, or tries to play, I don't know, h4 or something. Well, that's checkmate. I was like, I can take here, but no, this is just mate. Okay, thank you, Johnny, for the game. Yeah, this position's already starting to look a little rough right around here, I'd say. Maybe you can hold this together if you play something precise right at this moment, but I'm not optimistic. You might have to play something like f3. Wonder what the computer thinks. Knight d1. It's not an easy move to play. C takes, C takes. So you went e4, but yeah. What's the point of knight d1? Knight d1, is it so that you can meet knight g4 with f3 now? Evidently. Right, because if f3, if I check here at this point, you would have the move e3. So it kind of enables e3. That's rather subtle. I was thinking maybe f3 here, but that's probably bad somehow. I think as a practical matter, that's fine. I mean, the engine's giving this and then bishop e6 or queen c5. I guess point is you're going to lose that at some point, maybe after a trade of bishops. But yeah, got to recognize that black's going to play knight g4 here. Thanks for the game. Pawn 7. Good luck. All right. Should I play a modern here too? Let's do it. Trying to work in a bunch of different openings. And again, knight f3 here. Will white play d4? They do. Let's play d6. Kind of some Pirtz flavor to the position. Just a transposition. You can also play for c6 and d5, the so-called Gurganidze variation. That's pretty legit as well. The modern is losing for black. Wow. You guys are very deterministic about the opening results. Tafaska, not bullish on the modern. Maximilian asks, why didn't he pin the queen to his rook, then take his rook after the queen move? I wonder if you're talking about the previous game. Why didn't he pin the queen to his rook? I'd have to see the position you're referring to. Okay, let's take, and then I'm going to go here. Now c2 is hard to guard. Maybe impossible to guard. If rook d2, bishop h6, take here. Take. I might win a pawn out of that. Take f8, take b2, take. No, maybe not. We'll see. If white plays rook d2, this will get interesting. Someone was asking, what is my favorite computer game, I think? What was that question? What is your favorite computer game of all time? Asked rather random reality. I would say, no, I'm not going to give like a chess answer. I'm not going to say like, oh, chess master. Um, I would say Age of Empires. I really enjoyed that game when I was a kid. I have not played it in years, mind you. But that is a really fun game. AoE 2 is what I used to play. I really enjoyed Counter-Strike as well. I was definitely addicted to Counter-Strike for a while back in the early 2000s. Played that pretty much every day after school with my friends. All right. I think I should take this bishop. Yeah, I'm going to take that. And then probably pin, or do I want to just take the pawn on d6 right away? If I pin d7, I can play f6. I'm risking playing f6 again. Should I do it? Let's do it for the memes. So the only way for Bond to keep this pawn, well, okay, they could go bishop g5. But, okay, they're going to probably try to take a7, I suppose. StarCraft. I didn't play a whole lot of StarCraft, but also a good game. Okay, let's go here. And if takes, I'm going to go rook a8. That's the play. Let's box our enemy out here. Now we get f6 in. Better late than never, right? Okay. Let's do this. Rook c7, I'm going to go rook f7. And with this bishop pretty firmly out of the game and being up 2 pawns, I think we're all good. And I might play g5 to really highlight how poorly placed that bishop is. Kind of like the famous game Winter versus Capablanca. Basically just demonstrate that this is a non-combatant. And h6. Capablanca also did this in that aforementioned game against Winter. You keep your pawns on dark squares against the enemy dark square bishop. You don't let them play f4 easily. Yeah, and he's trying to get it out. I can sympathize, but which way do I want to take here? Let's take this way. We'll just even make sure that bishop h4 can't be played. That's a great game, by the way. Winter Capablanca. It was played in like 1919, I want to say. Does that sound right? Maybe 1909, although that sounds a little early. All right, we're going for the ultimate restriction. 1919 was, okay, cool. So I could conceivably like march up and take this bishop. But my opponent might get my f6 pawn is the thing. So I'm debating how best to handle this. Here, 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 take, here. I think I like that. Let's do that. I'm really trying to play this in principled strategic style, you know? Yeah, now I can just directly go attack that. We ended up taking the bad bishop. The poor bishop down there. Okay, thank you, Bond, for the game. So I think here, once again, kind of a scenario where the central tension did not pan out so well for white. Probably after knight d4, white's in some trouble. Looks a little bit awkward. I wonder if you can play rook d2 here. It's a pretty nasty move to have to play, but it might be playable. Does list it. Bishop g5 also. Okay, so the engine wants you to actually just give up the pawn and then play for activity. Ah, because you have knight d5. You have like a counter, speaking of counter-strike, a counter-striking idea here at the end. But yeah, on principle, you probably don't want to allow that. So I think you probably liquidated the center a little bit too quickly. Could play d5. Could maybe defend here. Maybe this itself is not so bad, but probably you should play something like h3 to stop bishop g4. That would be my advice. Thank you for the game. Hey, Frank Tan, you were up there at the top of the challenges. I kept seeing your name, so glad we got a game here. Let's play knight f3 against Frank. Ooh, and Frank pre-move d5. Interesting strategy. If I had played c4, that might not have worked out so well for black, but alas, I played knight f3. Ozzer says, I've been going through Capablanca's 100 best games, and watching him own adults as a 12-year-old is just epic. Oh, yeah, like all those games he played against, who was it? Was it Kozio? He had multiple games like that where, yeah, he was just wrecking like adults in Cuba. There's one guy in particular that he played quite frequently. He played a match against him when Capablanca was really young. I forgot the guy's name. Again, someone in the chat will know. Playing this kind of aggressive. Sometimes I hold off on e5 in these positions. Corzo, that's it. Corzo, yes. Thank you. I was like, Kozio doesn't sound right. That's the player whose name is attached to the Kozio variation in the Spanish. But yes, Juan Corzo. Who I think was probably one of the strongest Cuban players at that time. Okay, let's go rook c1. And now I think I'm going to take and play knight d6. Ooh. Maybe I'll get a chance for a Greek gift here. Bishop h7, knight g5 alert. First time attacking this bishop. We'll see. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for it. Well, yeah, no, I think I'm going to go for it. Let's do it. It's so hard to resist playing this once you look at it, but you always got to consider the possible defenses like take, knight g5, and then king g6. Always a possible legit defense. Now here, knight g5. Normally you wouldn't play this, but it does attack here, so I don't have to worry about g6. I think the strength of this knight in joining with the other knight to attack f7 is pretty significant here. Yeah, this is practically GG immediately. Queen c7. I can even play queen h5 there. Greek gift is common in the London. Yeah. There's a line in the London where, that happens pretty frequently. I actually got in a match when I played the London against Nicolas Huschenbett. Okay, now here, I think I'm going to go queen h5. We're playing for checkmate. We're not going to win the opponent's queen. We're playing for more. Bishop g6, queen h7. Really, bishop anywhere being a threat, except g8. If they take here. Ooh. Probably just take now. Oh, actually, I can go for the mate here with the knights. I'm looking for something truly fancy, but yeah, this is just going to be checkmate. All right. Thank you for the game, Frank. So this line, it's like basically a transposition to the Marshall defense. Not so great for black. I think when you allow white the two pawns like this unopposed, black's always going to be worse here. You got a bishop that's locked in. So you do need to take back with the c-pawn. This is the exchange Slav. Black's totally fine there. But yeah, I would really avoid those knight takes ideas. Thanks again for the game, Frank. A frequent viewer, Frank Tan. Okay, Desert Peggle. What have I not played? Let's play b3 in this game. Continuing to mix it up. I'm looking at the variation you guys are talking about. Some line of the King's Indian. The Mar del Plata variation. Whoa, that does look like a weird line. With C6 and B5. Okay, I've never seen that before. That looks pretty radical. All right. Aggressive play by my opponent here. Let's go bishop B5. What is my favorite variant and why is it Crazy House? Favorite variant. Well, let's put chess 960 aside because I feel like chess 960 is kind of a lame answer. Ooh, this could get dangerous for Desert Peggle. I would say Crazy House is up there. You know what I also like? I like 3-check. I'm not very good at it, but I like 3-check a lot too. I think 3-check, now watch a checkmate idea here, John, is a great way to improve your calculation. So it's just played with normal chess rules, but if you get 3 checks, you win. So that's an alternative way to win the game, which the game is almost always decided by that. Hello, what's a good move and how do you make it? Oh, man. $95. All right, so I'm up a piece here. And I can try to capitalize on the pressure here. I can also maybe play F5 in this position. But I think he's going to try to get the queen over here. Let's play queen H5. This looks like fun. And if G6, maybe then take here. It's all about mastering the art of the tempo. Yes, good answer, yeah. If you master the tempo, you can find good moves. John, do I know FM Lafong? Yeah, I do. I have met him in person before at a tournament in St. Louis. Nice guy. Oh, he actually had that planned out. He knew I was going to do that. I didn't consider this response. I probably should have. But this rook is undefended, so if I secure my queen, I think we should be all good here. Oh, I've got to move for him. Let's do this. I've got to move for Desert Peggle. One thing at a time on YouTube, asked John, how much time in your day you spend on chess-related activities? You know, that's a good question. I would say probably in a given day, could be a wide range, maybe 4 to 7 hours, because I am a chess teacher, so I spend quite a bit of time on that. Could be more. Kind of depends what you have in mind there as far as like chess work or things related to chess. Okay, so I'm up a rook here. Just trying to secure the win, secure the dub. I'm also attacking e6. Ooh, give me that. I almost don't even want to take this bishop because it's such a bad piece. Yeah, let's just play king e2. Where's that bishop going to go? Bishop h6, I play rook h1, so not too much of an improvement. I'm kind of nervous for my blindfold game coming up against you guys. I had this this blunder against Shrantham Grarks last time, if you guys tuned in last week, where we had this unusual situation out of the opening. It was a Blackmar-Demer gambit. And I played the move rook from b2 takes white pawn on g2. And I thought it was undefended, but in fact, white had a bishop on f1. I'm still a little bit scarred from that game. All right, I guess I'll take this terrible bishop. But I'm excited for the challenge today. No idea who's gonna be the opponent, but we'll make it memorable. We'll try. Okay, thank you, Desert Peggle, by the way. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think you played a little too aggressive in the opening, like knight e4. Not a big fan of that move when you haven't created a threat yet. If your queen had access to h4 immediately, maybe. But I don't think also you want to go for this pin, because it'd be better to try to break the pin here. And probably when I play h3, you should be trading for the knight. Because bishop h5, g4, I think you saw that your bishop can get trapped on a lot of lines, or knight e5 is coming. Thank you for the game. Okay, Killer Rectangle, you're up. Good luck. John, have I ever played Timur Gureyev? Yes, I have. I've played him a few times. We actually played back in college. Okay, what have I not played? Let's play b6. Let's go for the queenside fianchetto. We played on competing collegiate teams. I played for the University of Texas at Dallas. And I want to say he played for... Did he play for Brownsville? I want to say he played for Brownsville, which is another school in Texas. But I can't quite remember. Okay, let's go e6. But yeah, I played him a couple other times since then. Fascinating guy, Timur. This is one of the best systems for white. I think I should go d5 here if I'm remembering correctly. Because knight f6, they can go e5. I'm pretty sure that's not what you want to do. I'm a little skeptical of this e6, b6 system. I know some people who play it, but I'm not really sold on this. I have played Magnus. Yeah, I played Magnus in one of the titled arenas early on. Titled arena 2 or 3. It was a Scandi. You can find it if you're really, really curious. Yeah, Timur Gureyev has the record for most simultaneous blindfold games. He did a simul with, I think, 65 games blindfolded. Yeah, he played 65 games simultaneously, and it took like an entire day or more. Pretty memorable achievement, to say the least. I mean, that just hurts my brain to even think about that. So if I take... I'm not afraid of this one because I can take here. Take, though. Something about this seems unsound for my opponent, but I don't know. Let's just take and find out. I feel as though I can perhaps refute this, but how? Well, I have an interesting idea. How did I train to go from 2,000 FIDE to 2,300 FIDE? Well, truthfully, I was a kid at the time. I was in high school, and I was just playing constantly. I was playing online a lot. I played tournaments all the time. So, being a kid and just being really active, having your parents like take you to tournaments, just enjoying chess a lot and constantly playing the game. I would say it was mostly that. It wasn't so much, yeah, I did study, of course, but it was mostly just constant exposure to playing good players and playing frequently online and especially over the board. I'm talking, 2 tournaments a month probably on average, like challenging tournaments a month. Really hard to beat that level of experience. Okay, queen here. Now, I did see that. I thought knight c6 would just be my answer. Yeah, I think I'm just going to be up a piece here. So white had to try bishop takes f6 in that previous position. And I was thinking actually queen d5 there would have been very, very interesting. Now I think I'm just going to secure an extra piece. Already up a minor piece, and white cannot play this move. Those tactics didn't work out well for Killer Rectangle. And now let's take. Again, this is still defended, so no big deal. go rook g8. Threatening bishop takes f3. Oh, Bortnick lives in Chicago. Wow, I didn't know that. Let's go here. We'll attack this. I could also play queen d5 at any moment, too. But this seems pretty legit. Pull the bishop back. That might be, strictly speaking, the best thing to do. Because that knight is so poorly placed there on the edge of the board. Threatening queen takes h4. And g3 doesn't help. Yeah. Saw that one. a6, maybe? a6. I'm trying to play this accurately, but, you know, with the time situation, it scarcely matters. But always nice to play things accurately. All right, Killer Rectangle, thank you for the game. So key moment here when I took. Now, I think bishop takes is correct. You could also maybe play... No, bishop takes is correct, because if you take here, I can insert one of these trades first. Now here, the key thing is taking with the bishop on f6. That's, I think, the only way for you to play. Yeah, bishop takes f6. Only move. Because if you take here, I think I can take here in between move. Also, if I just take back, I'm up a piece. So you're already playing with fire a little bit in this variation because you're relying on some in-between moves. And yeah, the engine validates what I was thinking. So if I take back, you're going to take on e4. I was thinking queen d5. This looked pretty interesting to me, but I wasn't sure. Bishop takes g7, rook g8. Kind of like the game. I'm looking to work down the file. It is even minor pieces here, though, so you're still in the game. So thank you for the game. All right, we are near the end of the stream. We're actually going to go a little bit over, so let me do this quickly. Blindfold Game coming up. Please, pairing gods. Please, Lichess pairing gods. Do not give me a 2,000-plus player. Actually, that's fine. If you want to give me a 2,000-plus player, that's fine. Let's do this. Okay, Muy Lopez, 1,600. Muy, good luck. Am I white? I'm playing white. All right, so as usual, you guys can't see this. Feel free to follow me on Lichess. I think the link will be put in there. Good luck, Muy Lopez. Pray G's in the chat for my visualization. Especially when things get to an endgame, if they get there. Okay, h6. So kind of a passive little system here for black. The anti-fried liver from Muy Lopez. This will be our last game. Thanks, as always, to everyone for tuning in today. This is Lichess Plays. It's a weekly event. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it with you guys. Okay, take. And now we're going to take. I'm going to win a pawn here. As regardless of how black takes on d8, I'm winning either e5 or f7. They take with the king. Give me that pawn. Gimme, gimme. So we drew the king away from guarding that pawn. Knight f6. Okay, queens off the board is definitely helpful. I like that aspect of the position here. Let's play... I can't play bishop g5 because there's a pawn there. Let's play knight bd2. I feel I'm getting a little bit better at this every week. Probably c3 next. So my opponent's attacking my knight. Let's pre-move this capture. I'm going to take with a pawn if they take on f3. If Muy decides to go for that capture. They did. Okay, that was played. And now I'm slowly going to improve my position. Maybe back the bishop out. Maybe knight c4. Bishop c5 played. Let's go b4. Let's stake a little space on the king side, queen side, rather. Ooh, king e7. Really? You're just going to play like that, huh? Attack my bishop? That's how it's going to be? All right. Bishop d5, fine. Now, don't take, Muy. If you take, you're going to lose a piece. If you want to, you can take. It's your funeral. But okay, goes there. Now I probably want to take that knight on c6. Yeah, take. Pawn takes back. Knight c4. Good spot for the knight, and I've got e4 guarded. So black's got a bishop on d6, king e7, knight f6, pawn h6. Weak pawns here. It's the structure. The rooks are still here and here. Doing okay on the clock. a6. Probably just get the bishop out now. And I think next, king e2, rook d1. Maybe hop the knight to a5. This is nice. I can visualize this pretty clearly because the structure is so entrenched, if that makes sense. So there's not a whole lot of like adjustment needed, move to move. When the structure is in flux, it gets really hard in a blitz game. Okay, c5. All right, can I take... Okay. It's an interesting move. Probably I should play a4 here. Let's do that. Let's chase the rook. Because then I have just taking on c5, don't I? I think black's going to lose that bishop straight up. Because b takes c5 is coming after the rook moves. Rook goes back. Yeah, take. Let's pre-move this. Yep, take. What now? King e6. No, king f7. That pawn on e5 is unguarded, right? Let's take it. King g8. Probably just offer a trade of rooks now. Is that rook boxed in on h8? That's the one piece I'm uncertain about. They have a rook there, right? King h7. Okay, so maybe I should have played... Yeah, okay. Bring the rook in. Knight e8 guarding. Let's go knight c6. Rook g8. Okay. Is my pawn still on a2 or is it on... It's on a4. Okay, let's go here. And I think I'm just going to go after black's a pawn next. Okay, there. My knight is under attack. Let's go back. Back there. Okay, go here. Still guarding that, huh? But bishop e7 now should be possible. Forking this and this. Little double attack. Oh, wait. Wait, oh, that's the knight? The knight went there? I thought the knight was on d8. Oh, no. I don't know where stuff is. I just got to play moves. Move my king. I lost the position there at the end. I thought the knight was on e8, so that went to f6 instead of the rook. Oh, cool. When you click analysis board, it actually cancels that out. Wait a minute. I thought, okay, I got really confused about where the rook was here. The rook never went to the 6th rank. Oh, wow. Yeah, I thought the rook came up here. It hopped the pawn in my head. Yeah, okay. I was way off in the final sequence. I saw it pretty clearly up through about here, and then it started getting sketchy for me. Hey, but look at that. Thank you for the game, by the way, Mu Lopez. Look at that clean bill of health. 0 inaccuracy. I didn't blunder despite the position crumbling in my head. I kept things safe. Yeah. So this is a well-known mistake for black. H6 already a little bit sketchy, this anti-fried liver, trying to stop a piece from coming to g5. But after d6 and takes, Black is going to lose a pawn here somehow because, and a lot of people will play d5, which is tempting because it attacks the knight. But really consider that capture option when your opponent's behind in development because they might be overloaded. Yeah, I did. Did I hang a bishop? Let's see. Oh, yeah. That's funny. How does that not count that as a blunder? The position is that overwhelming. It's not a blunder. For some reason, it doesn't count it. Maybe we're already at a threshold here where the best move is plus 13, plus 14, but this is still plus 8. Yeah, that's what No Joke just said in the chat. Okay, yeah, that was definitely a blunder. When I played bishop e7, I thought the knight was here and the rook was here. That's how badly I messed up my visualization of that position. Yeah, of course, the knight was never on d8. It was on e8. All right. Well, little sloppy at the end, but I am happy with my play up to that point. Like, this was all good, seeing a4. I should have played knight g6. I kind of got the impression knight g6 somewhere would have been strong. But, yeah, I started panicking a little bit right around this point. All right. Well, as usual, this was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you so much, especially for watching that blindfold game at the end. If you want to try that, too, you can go to your preferences and you can select the very bottom option, which is blindfold, invisible pieces. So you all take care. Have a good one. Thanks for the discussion. And we're going to raid someone here, and I'll probably see you guys next Sunday. Have a good week. Looks like we're raiding, the Charlotte Chess Center. Good stuff. All right. Take care, everyone.